Oh man, oh man. All right, moving on. One last thing for the Cowboys. Does Micah just need to shut the hell up? I guess he loves the media attention. And did you see his tweets too, where he was taking pictures of those fans following him at the
Yeah,
airport?
yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
it's like he forgets that he's famous, and like, I mean, you're famous. Like, what do you expect? I mean, that's the thing that you have to deal
Okay.
with when you're Michael Parsons or just someone. I know it's not. I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying the fans are right in this thing, but like, I mean, think about it, if it's LeBron. You know, he's probably gonna get
Yeah.
followed, but he's probably gonna have security with him. But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of childish on his part.
Yeah, I think that he's he's not the best when it comes to confrontations on media. And I think that his podcast doesn't help, right? And he's building his brand, and
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. Like that's exactly what Jerry Jones wants. But
Yep.
also, it doesn't necessarily help that like I think for certain there's a certain sect of Cowboys fans that are like, hey, like just please just get the attention off of us. And I think that's how we want it, right? At least for me, right? I'm tired of like defending the Cowboys and say, oh my gosh, like here we go again, another year, another failure, another time that our players are just gonna talk too much game, and then when it comes to matters, like it matters most, we're just gonna fucking disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that all this is doing is just building a media narrative for, or I guess against the like it's building a narrative for the media against the Cowboys, and it's just like just stop giving them so much ammo. I think is kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, he's giving him a hell of ammo. I'm telling you that. He just and then like it just I don't know. He just the podcast doesn't help, and then maybe I'm saying maybe he likes it. But like you said, it does feel like fuck, dude. You just keep giving them more and more to talk about, and then I mean that's what they want. I mean that's what runs the ratings, brings the viewers up, and just has people engaged. So
And
props to
I
him.
think
And yeah.
I think that there's a good and a bad way to do podcasts from a player's standpoint, especially
Mm-hmm.
when they're in season. Like I'm not saying that I personally have a single problem with him doing a podcast in general. I don't have a problem with him doing a podcast in season because I don't. I think that it's ridiculous for fans to think that 1,000% of their time is to be football because it's not. Like
Oh
you
no.
and I are both
Yeah.
athletes, and we know like all right, like
Mm-hmm.
hey, like we're gonna spend as much time as we need to spend at our sport, but at the end of the day, like you need some sort of method, whether it's video games or whether it's hanging out with your friends or hanging out with your
Mm-hmm.
spouse, like to get away from the game, and that's 100%. But I think the
Yeah.
way to go about it is there's so many podcasts that talk about things other than their sport, and they may mention to be like, yeah, I had a bad game, and there's cool pieces where you can peek behind the curtain and be like, yeah, this is what we
Yeah.
saw, this is kind of how it was, and it's dissecting some stuff, but then also it's just like you got to stop building so much media narrative behind it, but also I think that that's the point of it's the Cowboys, it's the star on the helmet,
Mm-hmm.
and if it was a small media market, say it was Arizona or say it was Tampa Bay, like it's not getting near the attention that's happening
No.
when it's the Cowboys, just because it's the star in the helmet, it's the media market, it's the team, and that just is what it is, right?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And then I mean, because you have Kelsey, the Kelsey brothers with their podcast, and then they keep it somewhat like whatever the world's going on, and then they talk about football for a little bit. I
Yeah,
personally haven't even listened to Micah's podcast,
I haven't either.
so I don't even so I don't know what he talks about on there. But I mean, obviously, people we're gonna listen to. I mean, the bad stuff that everyone talks about, and that's just gonna happen. And then one last thing on Micah, and we can transition to NBA. As you guys saw, he was in the All-Star game, and he was a tryhard. Was it
Nah, he's a
31,
bucket,
37
bro.
shots? He is a
He's a
bucket, but
bucket.
was it
He's a
37
bucket.
shots attempted?
I don't even know. I know he put up almost
It was
40. Was it
31 or
40?
37. But hey, I forget how good NFL athletes can be. Especially like in basketball. I mean, you saw what's his face? My Puka Nakua. He was out there hooping too.
Oh yeah, crazy.
He was
Yeah,
getting up there. He was getting up
nice
there.
little dunk.
Yeah, and then they just didn't want to pass the ball to Kai Cenat, and I thought that was really funny too.
Yeah, disrespectful.
But yeah, I mean, Twitter had a field day with Micah and just saying like, this guy's such a fucking tryhard. Like I think it was 37 shots attempted. in the All-Star
He
celebrity
ended
game.
up with 30. He ended up with 37 points, and I can't find his
Also,
stat
it's probably
line.
31 attempts.
I
I
think
think
he was
it was 31
37.
attempts.
I think it was 37 points on 31 attempts.
Yeah,
But he
so,
was a hooper. I think he was a pretty good hooper in high school, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's just.
Oh,
I
so
mean,
he
it's
was
an
seven.
athlete
Okay,
football.
he was 17. He was 17 to 31 with 16 rebounds and 4 steals. I mean, that's efficient. That's an
16
efficient
boards.
16 boards, bro. That's efficient.
See, like we need guys like that in the All-Star game.